This conference will now be recorded.
Hey everybody, welcome to our RMC support group Saturday edition. Um, let's go around seeing how everybody's doing and what's on your mind. Uh, Aisha, how are you doing today?
Hi, we're doing well. Everybody's good. Gregory is well. I'm well. We're driving right now on our way out to get something to eat. Um, but we're well for the most part. Um, Glad to be
Yes,
here. Glad to see everybody.
yes, glad to hear your voice. Um,
Thank you.
is there anything questions you had or anything you wanted to talk about?
No, not necessarily. Not at the moment. I guess everybody else will go around and then maybe we'll speak. We'll double back.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, David. How are you doing?
Oh, hello. I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We're just going around seeing how everybody's doing and if there's anything on your mind you had questions about or wanted to discuss.
Um, well, I'm generally okay, trying to keep positive. Something I'm a little bit interested in, but I don't know how to really approach it or whether it's a good idea, is to, if people are willing, somehow try to get as much information about how people got to a diagnosis stage, in the sense that I have a feeling that if some time was spent on it, we might be able to find out if there's something which starts this cancer, because there's obviously a lot of um, non-precise information about why it comes about in the first place. I mean, we obviously know it's connected to sickle cell trait, but even with people who have sickle cell trait, which is a lot of people, most of the reports say it's about 1 in 30,000 chance of getting it, even with sickle cell trait. So, I'd be open to having some sort of like investigation to see if there are any patterns.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've heard like from my side, like a possibility has to do with water and like being hydrated, like as well. And especially during like intense exercises. So there is like people who are very athletic or like in the military where like maybe they're not hydrating as well after like intense exercise could be a thing. Andre, do you have any additional input on that?
I'm sorry,
Can I
I
can I
I
say
missed the
something?
question. Go ahead. I missed the question, Chris.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I'll say something real quick, and then maybe you'll be able to then chime in, Andre. To my knowledge, and I don't know how accurate this is, but I think I read this somewhere. Even though people with the sickle cell trait, they basically are saying that their cells don't sickle. I think that there's something that occurs based upon activity and also dehydration, where the cells do start sickling in the well, I don't know if it's sickling, if it sickles or it starts backing up, like it starts not moving in the right direction around the kidney, and then it forms, and that's what causes the tumor, and then from there it just goes
Right. What I can tell you is that
with
what
how
happens
how the
is,
cells move, and I think they start.
go ahead, Aisha, you finish?
Oh no, I'm finished. Go ahead, because you're about to really expound on it. That's just what I read, and I think you know. So go ahead.
No. What happens from what I understand is that the medulla requires quite a bit of oxygen. So when you exert yourself or what have you, then your cells do tend to sickle, which makes the medulla apoxic, which means it's not getting much oxygen because the cells are blocking the oxygenated blood flow. So what happens is then the cells begin to mutate, and that's what form the cancer in the medulla. Now that's what I understand. Now they are still studying the biology of RMC, whereas they have quite a bit of information. They found out about intense exercising, sickle cell trait, those two being the main factors of RMC as it stands today. But of course, hydration plays a huge part of it. And the importance of when you are in the military and you're going through these vigorous drills, and same with any type of sports. If you have sickle cell trait, you still have cells that sickle. Even if you're not exercising, you still have cells that sickle that can increase when you go even into high altitudes. So, and that's where I think the myth comes in. If you have sickle cell trait, there's nothing to worry about. It could be because the symptoms are somewhat minor. Some people don't feel a difference. But I know as I get older and travel in high altitudes, I do have more of an effect than I did when I was younger. And I too played sports, but I didn't have any problems. My son played sports, and plus he was in Albuquerque playing football. So that's what I know as it stands right now. There's still a lot of research to be done on it. I hope that helps somewhat.
That's what I meant. Thank you, Richie.
You were right on
See,
top of
that's
it,
coming from an
Aisha.
RN right there. That's what I meant. She said everything that I meant. It just came out. It didn't come out the right way. But yes, that's exactly what I meant. But that's what I read, and that's my understanding as well. But thank you, Richie, for being so articulate.
All right, Aisha. I'm going to find you in Gregory. You are in Houston.
Does anybody else have input as well?
I, Audrey, I don't know if you're going to top that one, but you could try.
Hey, I'm with you, Aisha. That's about what I was gonna say. That's everything I wanted to say. So she hit it. She hit it dead on.
Right. I know Dr. Masal has a list, like so every patient that he has with him, when you meet him, you write down your exercise patterns, where you've lived, all of that. And so I think he is trying to figure out if there's a trend to the patients that develop this cancer with trait who are active. It's because you're right, David. There are thousands of people with sickle cell trait that are very active that don't get this cancer. So I think he is trying to compile a list to see if there's anything in common among these patients that may have triggered the development of it. But yeah, elevation, dehydration, intense physical activity tend to be the trend so far, I guess.
Yeah, I can agree with that because I did high intensity exercise all my life. And it's funny because whenever I used to go to the doctor, I was always dehydrated because I just never drank enough water. Because I guess I was never really thirsty, so I just didn't drink it. Not like really thinking about like whether I need it or not. I still need to keep myself hydrated, and that could have played a part in me contracting it as well. So I can see a trend on that.
Yeah, just to expound upon that, I deployed to Kuwait in 2017. If you know anything about Kuwait, it's one of the hottest places on earth or whatever. So, um, and we did a lot of CrossFit workouts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And me being in uniform, not drinking enough water. By the time I got back home in about mid 2018, I had started experiencing symptoms in like December of that same year. So I think there's a correlation there. You know what I'm saying? Because thought I was relatively healthy all my life. Then boom, out of nowhere, you know, get deployed there, do all this CrossFit and this hot sun, and next thing you know what I'm saying, I got diagnosed with this or whatever. So I think there is a correlation there.
And like my husband Carlos, he was in judo and he did like very intense there. And I know his coach a lot wouldn't give him water breaks there, and he was sweat a lot. So like yeah, definitely like dehydrated there. So kind of makes sense to me on that. But excited to kind of see where the research goes and to kind of see how they pinpoint this. David, do you have any more questions?
No, and thank you very much, everyone, for giving your input there. That's really important information. Thanks so much.
That was
Yeah,
a
and I
great
just
question.
wanted to say that Gregory, he played basketball. He also played football. But ironically, he had stopped like most of his sports about a year, not even a year. It was like maybe 2 years before he was diagnosed. So he would exercise at home, but he was in strenuous activities when it came to football. He really was honing in on football, and he stopped that in his senior year. He didn't play football in high school, and he was diagnosed in 2022. He felt some things that was going on. We went to the doctor, but it never came out until he had some actual symptoms. But he had stopped the rigorous. He would just exercise at home on his own. So I don't know how rigorous it is as far as the exercising. Like I think any type of sports or any type of exercise might do it. I don't know if it's high intensity or not, but
I was
yeah.
hardcore. I was playing tennis 2, 3 hours a day, 4 days a week, sometimes outside. Jump roping in I think it has to be pretty strenuous where you get pretty dehydrated, and then if you don't, I guess if you start dehydrated, because I know I did, thinking back, I know I started dehydrated and I didn't drink enough after, but I mean, I think I'm pretty sure it has to be pretty high intensity just based on how many other people are active who have the trait. I don't think anyone is really that good at drinking water, that don't get the cancer. Um, I figure it has to be pretty intense for it to trigger a mutation. That's just my guess though.
I think Professor Mzawel, I asked him once what he means by saying intense exercise and rigorous exercise. And he told me about 180 heartbeats for prolonged period of time without breaks. So if you keep pushing your body to the extreme for a long time, and extreme he means 180 heartbeats and more constantly, and that of course if it's added every day for many hours, the same, plus other factors, okay, but that's what he told me, and I think that is mentioned in his study. He published something related to the exercise, and there are some findings, because most of the people who develop RMC, apart from sickle cell trait, they are somehow involved in exercise, the
Yeah,
majority.
I was gonna say that Ricky was obviously fit.
Yeah.
I think he's probably one of the, on the older end of being, he's 48 when he was diagnosed, but he was a really fit firefighter. He was high intensity exercise, if you like, running, gym, and then obviously his work was physical, keeping fit, but he was 48, and that came on very, very quickly, and obviously he was stage 4 very, very quickly. So I guess in the UK for me is the knowing your traits and knowing your symptoms and getting as many people as positive tested to know, to just have that, be armed with that information. And obviously the GPs armed with the information, because our GPs and our clinicians wasn't aware of any links, any signs, any symptoms, didn't know what RMC was. It was just all a big shock in our system. So I guess for us, it's the UK's got a lot of work to do there, really.
Yeah,
And
I mean, I feel like
if
we
I,
all have.
okay.
Sorry.
Say, Jarison. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, I feel like we all have a lot to work to do because I know we want to get awareness out there too with our doctors so that they, like, once these symptoms come out earlier and they connect with the sickle cell trait, they'll be able to do testing quicker. And I mean, especially since this grows so quickly as stage 4, like the earlier you catch it, like the better. Lois, that's all I had to say. You want to say what you want?
I think what is important is, as far as awareness is concerned, to inform the pediatricians. At least here in Greece, the family has a very close relationship with a pediatrician from the time that the baby is born. And that's the person he or she, the mother or father, consults. Not so much the GP as in the UK. So I guess for Greece, having the pediatricians informed about sickle cell trait is very important, because there might be people who don't even know that they carry the trait. Because I had a discussion with my son's pediatrician, who was specializing in a big hospital in Thessaloniki when we were transferred there from Volos with Fenina, and now she has her surgery hours here in Volos. She opened her surgery, and she told me that ever since I heard about what was going on with Fenina and what it is that it caused all this, I sent the babies for checking, not the babies, when they become 1 or 2 years old. I think that's the proper age that the hemoglobin can show. And she said that I must be maybe the only pediatrician in our hometown, who asks for this kind of blood test to check if the child carries the trait. And it is important if the doctor knows how to guide the parents and what to do once they find out that the kid carries the trait. Hydration, for example, for my son now, I check with an ultrasound his kidneys once a year. I don't know if I overdo it, but I do it. It's nothing, it's just a check. So pardon? Oh.
No, I'm
So
sorry.
that could be something to, as far as precaution is concerned. Apart from hydration, uh, careful with exercise. Yeah, he knows that he cannot do something and reach the level of a champion like Fenina did. He knows that now, and he just exercises for fun and without pressure. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that we were aware because here in the United States they test all the children. So
Mm.
we found out that Gregory had sickle cell trait. We knew that it was a possibility that any of our children would have had it because his father has the trait. But we found out because we received something from the Department of Health, which told us that he had the trait. And Gregory had the same pediatrician from when he was a baby. So it wasn't as if she wasn't aware. But I think, like you said, you have to be aware that it's not benign. And that's the education part,
Yeah.
because it was fully aware that he had sickle cell trait, but the education regarding what could happen, and the fact that it's always said that it's benign, is where
Yeah.
the error is. I definitely agree with you when it comes to you getting the ultrasound. Like, you're not overdoing it, you are being
Yeah.
proactive, and
Yeah.
that's a great thing, and that's something that here in the United States we would want everybody who has sickle cell trait, from young, to get a scan, to get an ultrasound, so that they have a baseline as to what it is.
Yeah,
Because if you get it annually, then if there is any changes, then
yeah,
that you can catch it early. Because for
yeah,
me, I don't know. I know that with this cancer, you normally have symptoms based upon when it's in stage 4, or when your body is literally doing something that triggers it. So, for Gregory, it was urine in the blood. But this didn't just begin then. At that point, blood in the urine. Yeah, thank you, Gregory. It was blood in the urine. It didn't just begin then. This had already started, doing what it was doing, and replicating, and so, yeah, if we can educate our pediatricians, doctors, period, just so that they know that it's not benign. And if
yeah,
we can get baseline ultrasounds for people who have sickle cell trait, then it can be detected early. And then this is something that can be cured, very, very early. So you're not overdoing it. You're doing what you need to
yeah,
do as a parent.
yeah,
So
yeah.
keep doing it.
And the funny thing is that I knew that I carry the trait, and I checked my both children very, very early when they were two and three, the boy and the girl. We knew that they carry the trait, but nobody told us that it's not that benign. Every doctor used to say, "Come on, you just forget it. It's nothing. It doesn't cause anything." And
That's across
nobody
the
Same
told.
here.
board, isn't it?
Yeah,
Everybody
nobody.
says that. That's the same here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
it's the
that's what the
same.
standard is when it comes
yeah.
to it.
Because they don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
But
education.
for me with Rick was that I think is a key thing is the kidney biopsy. Um, that we had, in my opinion, that was one of the last tests that Ricky had, but that was where the diagnosis came from, the kidney biopsy, and it took 5 months to get that biopsy. um, because they didn't know what they was looking for. They didn't know where the tumor was. They didn't know where the primary was.
Sorry,
So
Nikki, did they confirm RMC after that biopsy? And the only reason I'm asking is because when I had a biopsy when I returned from the Canary Islands to the UK, I
yeah,
asked I would like to go straight to a biopsy, and they said no, 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 we don't want to use
yeah,
the Spanish
they don't
scans. We
like
want to
to do.
start from the
Yeah,
beginning. But when they did the biopsy, they confirmed cancer. But I've read this in many reports online, but I mean, technically it's a misdiagnosis, but apparently it's a normal misdiagnosis. They diagnosed it as collecting duct carcinoma, which apparently is a very common misdiagnosis. When you see this cancer, it looks like a different but similar cancer. So they didn't actually know that I had RMC until they performed the radical nephrectomy. They removed my right kidney and they looked at it under a microscope and saw that it had spread to local lymph nodes and to something else I can't remember the name of. And that's when they gave me stage 3 metastatic diagnosis of RMC. But it was after the biopsy which came back with the wrong type of cancer. And then the decision to remove the kidney based on the fact that it was stage 1 collecting duct carcinoma at that time. And they said, if I remove my kidney, I can get on with my life. And then when they found out it was RMC, they said, oh shit, basically. They said, you might only have weeks to live. We've never heard of this cancer. The consultant urologist who removed my kidney admitted that to me face to face. Never heard of the RMC in his academic nor professional career once.
mm. That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's yeah. It's
yeah.
the same, isn't it? It's the
The
same.
same, the same in Greece. I think most cases are identical. It took us 2.5 months to reach a diagnosis.
It's the
Yeah,
same here in the United States as well. So often it's misdiagnosed, whether it be urinary tract infection or what have you. I know in Chris's case, it was not diagnosed at all until after he had the blood in his urine, but he had been complaining of back pain for almost 2 years, sent to physical therapy, sent to a chiropractor, and it wasn't until it was blood in his urine that they did the CT scan and found a 7 centimeter tumor in his right kidney. So I think if we did have at least check the urine annually when you take your child in, it would let you know. Because sometimes you can't see blood in the urine, but if you have it checked, they can detect that there's something there, and then go on and do the ultrasound, because so often insurance companies don't want to just pay for an ultrasound if there's no indication, because once again, they don't think sickle cell trait is a reason to do that, because remember, it's benign as they
Benign.
think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, education is definitely, the key to, getting on with things and maybe changing the protocol and the way they do things,
Yeah.
and hopefully can get it approved by companies, because that's the dilemma too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
because
For us in the UK, it's getting the clinicians to take an interest in RMC, because they see it as being so rare, and they just don't want to know. And obviously, there's going to be people out there that are dying of something else and getting misdiagnosed all the time, not even knowing they've got sickle cell as well. So I think getting the interests of the clinicians and the doctors here is a massive thing for me, especially like urology and them sort of clinicians that we struggled with. Um, yeah, I think
And
so.
that's where we play a big part too, Nicola. We're going to have to be our own self advocates. And everywhere
Yeah,
we go, we have to be an advocate for ourselves and others. So,
yeah,
they will listen, because just think, if we hadn't started advocacy, we wouldn't be where we are today. So
yeah,
you're going to
exactly. Yeah,
get the ears of some that listen, and you're going to find some people that are as passionate as Dr. Tanier and Dr. Masal. So it's
yeah.
getting on board, and that's what it takes.
I have. I should have had a meeting with the lead clinician in the city where we live. I should have had a meeting with him last week, but he cancelled. I've had one with him and he did want to find out if there was any data and what the problem, if there was any problem across. But I thought, well, you're not going to find it, because there's not going to be any data there, because there just isn't, because no one. I'm not sure Rick will be on any data anywhere. So I don't know. So we are going to speak and meet again. So I'm hoping that he is going to take a little bit of interest, because he's like the clinical lead for urology, and he's a kidney specialist. And so I'm hoping he's going to take a little bit of an interest.
That would be great. You just have to keep knocking on his door. Be that
Yeah.
bad penny, and he'll either do it so you'll go away, or just do
Yeah.
it out of passion.
Wait, when you say like data, you mean like just like results from clinical trials, Nicola?
Well, there isn't any clinical trials over in the UK anyway, and hasn't been. So I think I think he's meaning, data of like, say, this person has died of RMC. I think he means that sort of thing that
Is
will happen with anybody that dies. There'll be some sort of data, won't they, of like what they've died of, that they'll be able to get hold of, I should imagine.
I mean, would he look at like American? Because I know like Dr. Masal has done like different clinical trials. Like, would he look at that, or if that
Would he look?
was
Would he
like it,
look at?
like the
Sorry.
studies, like the studies that Dr. Masal has done, because he's done like
Yeah,
different
I think he
clinical.
will. I think he would look at, if he was interested, and he'd have to look at everything, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I think that would be the place to start, because I know he's done articles and there's definitely been
yeah.
different ones.
They are aware of Dr. Masool anyway, through like the doctor that's on board with my trust, that
Mhm.
obviously, they've been in touch with the hospital, the kidney, the cancer hospital that Rick was at. So they are, I think they're a bit more, since me starting the charity, they're a bit more aware and a bit more keen on liaising a little bit with Dr. Masool than they was, say, 4 years ago, which is really good. And I know that Dr. Masool is just amazing, and gives that time and does that. So it is. it is difficult. It's a constant battle, but obviously I'm doing it, but I need support obviously as well in the UK to help me. So it's yeah, it's a tough one, but we're not giving up.
It's tough here too, really trying to get people
Yeah,
to help you and get on board to really get the advocacy done.
yeah,
And even with Dr. Masal doing what he does, it's still difficult sometimes to get the physicians in other states on board and to
yeah,
really connect with him and adhere to the protocol that he's sending them. So that is an obstacle in itself. But I am hoping with this fourth clinical trial, which he's just signed off on, apparently this clinical trial will be open to everyone. I know, I think in the United States, the way I understand it. So, and it is supposed to make a huge difference, in the care of patients diagnosed with RMC. It's still a lot of work to be done, but it's just going to take each one of us continuing to do what we do. And, we're just blessed to, have such great outcomes. I think everybody on here on this
mm,
call that's been diagnosed is doing well.
yeah,
So that is a blessing in itself. And then just even trying to get more to join us. It's a chore. I mean, there are about 25 people that I'm in contact with, but it's a chore to get them to join in with us and share their stories and give those that aren't doing as well, give them hope, because you're going to have your ups and your downs. And what you need is that hope to keep pushing through it because it's not an easy journey. So it's just really getting people involved. I mean, I know several that are doing well that I can't even get them to join just one meeting for a few minutes. So
yeah.
that's where the
You
issue
you
is. And
need
I'm
those
just,
positive. Yeah,
yeah, and it's just great to have each one of you on. I mean, it just really make a huge difference. I mean, and I look at Clarissa and you, Nicola, and Lois, and myself even, we've all lost our loved one to REMC, but yet we're out there, trying to make a difference so that others don't have to travel this unfortunate, uneasy journey. So, and that's what it takes. And I really appreciate you guys for hanging in with us, because with you, we wouldn't be where we are. And then, of course, you have Brian, you have Andre, you have David, you got Gregory. They're on the calls all the time. They're feeling better. Andre is, what, 4 years out, and he's still hanging in here with us. So we have to even change the mindset in our REMC community. We need to come together as a larger group and a louder voice to truly, truly make a difference. That's just my little spiel.
yeah. No,
Pam's
agreed.
here. Pam's here too.
Oh,
Agreed.
Pam, golly, hey, Pam, I'm not looking at your face. Put your camera on, Pam. Yeah, Pam is here too, and Pam is a nurse as well, and so she's a huge and will be, continue to be a huge asset to the community. That's what it is, Pam. I just saw a P up there. I'm
Yeah, I still
sorry.
got my robe on. I'm not turning on my camera, but I'm here.
I appreciate you, Pam. I apologize. Please forgive me.
No worries. I like staying under the radar, so that's fine.
That's what we do as nurses, Pam. But I've spilled that out too.
David, anything else you wanted to talk about or questions?
No, I think no, you've covered comprehensively all the things I was asking about. So thank you very much. And Richie, that was a very lovely thing to say, really. And I think what you and Nicola and Carissa, etc., are doing, and Lewis, of course, it's incredible, and it is a shame. I was reluctant to get involved. I don't know why, really. I just at the beginning, I just thought when they gave me my diagnosis, I just thought the way they gave it, I just thought I didn't have long to live. What could I really offer to anyone? So, and it has been positive since, and
Come
it's
on,
obviously
don't
great.
say that. Don't say that.
Well, yeah, sorry, but
You're here. You're getting better,
I
and
know,
that's
and I'm really
important.
grateful, and I'm very positive about that now. But when
Yeah.
I was given it initially,
Yeah,
back
okay.
into the 2021. I was in a different headspace, and I didn't feel that I'd be useful for anyone, and didn't really feel I should get involved because I just thought I didn't want to spread negativity in case I had any, So I just
Okay.
thought, what am I going to offer? But I've completely changed my opinion on that, and I'm sort of maybe giving an excuse for the people that Richie just brought up that don't want to get involved. I mean, I don't know them, but the psychology is complicated, and if there was
It's
some way of
difficult.
getting them to,
Hard to
go
stay
on.
positive, isn't it? When
It's
you're going
difficult.
through it.
In the beginning, it's difficult to stay positive. Yeah, it's
Mm, yeah.
And I feel
But David's going to be doing a speech at my ball, aren't you, David?
Yes, I am. Yeah,
that is
ah,
in March. Yeah,
wonderful.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
David,
inspiration.
What you
Right?
said meant a lot because yes, initially when you get diagnosed, you have to first get over the shock, and then, you keep it within yourself or within your immediate family. I understand that. I was the same way, and Chris was too. I was basically his gatekeeper. I look at Andre when I first met him in April. Very, very quiet, very, very private. And I can tell you that we probably wouldn't be here on this group meeting today if it hadn't been for him. When he finally came out and say, Miss Ritchie, we need a support group. And that's when I touched base with Clarissa, of course, and she turned us on to Alexa, and that's how it got started. So we got to give a kudos to Andre because he was the one that asked for it. And I can tell you, he was very, very quiet. I can remember when Brian first was diagnosed, Anessa was his spokesperson. That's who you saw all the time,
And that
but
says everybody's spokesperson.
exactly, exactly. So it's been great, and Aisha's been very, very strong for Gregory. Gregory, it's not as strong as his voice. It's not as strong as it usually is, but Gregory is a warrior. He has his mama there with him, and I'm telling you, she is a huge, huge advocate and a very strong, strong advocate. So I mean, so I
Thank you
think
for saying
everybody, play their part and everybody's role is important. So I don't want anyone to feel put down if indeed, when you first join our group, you feel a little shy and don't want to talk that much. We respect that. And I know sometimes, people don't want to be recorded, but this is a way too for you to go back and review it. I think for people just really going in and finding the YouTube sessions is a little bit difficult because I even sometimes have a hard time finding which date, so I can go back and do the statistics on it. But it's once you've gotten that clear scan, it changes the mindset. And even so, you still have that anxiety with future scans, even though you've been declared, free of cancer. And that's normal to feel that. And that's why we're here. We're here. We want you to, share your concerns and somebody else can help you along that way. But we never want you to lose hope. And we're just so proud of the progression that we've made. I know I feel great about it and loved ones that have gone, they paved this way. Their legacy will continue to live through us. We will not let their death be in vain. So I just want you to know all of you mean so much to me. You are my family. I love each and every one of you. And I just hope I can meet, the ones that I haven't met, because that is my goal.
you
You know,
promised. You promised.
I am coming to Greece, Lord, but it's going to be during the week. I am coming. I'm going to give you the dates.
When are you coming? When?
It will be
Say-
in October, but you said I need to see Santorini is so far away from you, but I will be there like on a Tuesday or something. I'm going to send you my dates. I'm going to send you the itinerary.
but if the cruiser stops in Athens for some, that's okay.
I'm not.
Will Athens be in your plan?
I'm not sure. I know Santorini is Mykonos. Mykonos is. I'll send it to you.
These are islands.
Yeah, they're all islands.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Are you based in Athens?
I don't
Me?
think it's.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
me?
Yes.
No, I'm in the Midland,
Okay.
central part of Greece. I'm
Mm,
about 3.5 hours from Athens.
right.
But
I'm actually.
the places that Richie mentioned are two islands,
Mm,
uh, about 4 hours by ship from the port of Piraeus. Mykonos, Santorini is a bit further. Yeah.
mm. Well, I would love to meet any and all of you at any stage at one point. I'm actually going to the United States on
We might
Wednesday.
have an
When?
international conference.
Sorry?
Where in the United States?
Well, I'm flying to San Francisco for a layover, but I'm basically going straight to Hawaii. I have a friend there.
Oh,
I
so
want to go to
nice.
Hawaii. Will you take me with you?
Well, if you can fit in my hand luggage, yeah.
He's always travelling, Richie.
Well, I try
Oh
to.
my
Well,
God.
let me know
And
if
on the
you're ever.
way back, I'll be in New York for a weekend. But I think most of you are in southern places and California.
That's
I'm in New Jersey.
Clarissa.
I'm in New Jersey,
Carissa.
Oh,
and I'm next
really?
to
Montana.
New York.
Montana. Wow. I know Montana's a tax-free state. You're in New Jersey. Well, it's possible we could meet. I'm only in New York for a weekend, though. I'm just looking up in the calendar. I think
It's
it's
like a half an hour drive from me to New York.
yeah. Yes, I'll be there on evening of the 9th of February, and I leave on the evening of the 11th. So I arrive sort of mid-afternoon on Friday the 9th, and then leave Sunday night.
Well, it's
Okay.
February.
February. Okay. Well, let me know if you
For
have time,
February.
even
Yeah.
if it's just for a cup of coffee. That would be great.
Well, that'd be cool. No, honestly, that would be really cool. I'm definitely open to that. That'd be amazing.
I'm putting my cell in the chat. So you have it.
Okay, cool. How do I? Okay, just come up. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jelly.
You have to come back to New York.
Richie, come to the UK to my ball.
We need to come to the UK for your ball. When is it?
The 9th of March.
Oh, March is hard for me.
Is it? Oh, I
Yeah,
know it's a busy month, isn't it?
it is. And with the walk, planning for
I
the walk is
know.
really difficult.
One day.
I know. One day it will happen. I'm just gonna have to take a trip to Greece, not to cruise, but just to fly over. Then I have to go to the UK, and then wherever else I need to go. I need to
Yes,
go to Montana. I've never been to Montana, Pam.
it's
Don't come in
research.
the winter.
Don't worry. So I have some places I'll have to put that on my bucket list because I told you guys I'm on the end of that pendulum, so I need to do my thing while I can still see and walk.
Oh no.
All right, this has been a great meeting. Okay, Clarissa.
Pam, do you have any questions or anything on your mind that you want to talk about?
No, no, I did want to add something. So as far as the people that are hesitant to get on, I know I get on um because it's hard to explain to others what it's like with such a weird diagnosis. I hate to say I mean it's weird. Everything about mine was weird. And so like I never stopped working, and so every time I show up, for hospital rounds or what have you, people have this look on their face like she's still here. And so it's kind of just having other people who understand that, like the weird look, like, oh, you're still alive. It's just nice to have people who understand. And so I don't know if people who get on don't know that we can provide that for them. And so this is a special place for me.
Pam, I totally agree with you on that. Like, I feel like that's the power of this group. And I know just like my situation too, being like the caretaker and like how Richie just kind of understood and like kind of helped me through that process. Like, other people just people don't understand. And just having that comfort is like so important, like to me. I agree
Yeah,
with you.
absolutely. It's if someone hasn't seen you in a while and they haven't been part of your journey, they do look. It's a weird. I mean, they don't say it, but it's just a weird vibe when you start talking to them about patients and patient care, and they're just looking at you like, "What?" And so, yeah.
I just
Um,
wanted to say that sometimes about the hope, like we have to keep hope, and it can be difficult to stay positive, but sometimes I have to just mention that when we hear negative things or something that has happened that's bad to people in the community, it sometimes brings myself down and sometimes it brings Gregory down. And I know that that's part of it, but sometimes it's not it affects you, and it makes you not want to hear what's going on. So I know that Gregory has experienced that, and just wanted to say that. But it's as a caregiver, information, knowing what other people are going through, knowing how people's treatment is going, how they're feeling. It's also a resource because sometimes you might be going through something and somebody else might be going through it, and it allows you to see that one, you're not alone, and two, you may have information based upon what you've already been through or experienced that can help someone else. So sharing what's going on with you is very good, and it's information, especially because we're all in different parts of the United States. We're in different parts of the country, and it all helps.
Thank you, Aisha. Yeah, well said on that. Brian, do you have anything?
Sorry, couldn't find my mute button. Well, I had some scans done last week, and I'm happy to say everything's still looking good. Everything was clear.
Yes.
So
Nice.
happy to see that. But yeah,
That's great, Brian.
thanks. Yeah. But other than that, nothing else to report. But I was very happy with the news. And Andre could probably speak to this better than I can, but like after they take you off of treatment and you get scans, there's always like a little bit of fear in the back of your head, like, hey, maybe it came back. But I'm happy it's still staying away. So, good to know at the moment. So,
That's wonderful news, Brian. I'm so happy for you, really.
thank you.
Great, and we're gonna continue to have that. It's gonna keep on coming.
Yeah, sending good vibes your way, Aisha.
Thank you. So I just wanted to give the community, an update on Gregory. Um, he's been fine. We've been we've dealt with. He had radiation because something showed up on he was experiencing some pain in his leg, and it wind up having an MRI, and it did go to his spine or his spinal area. So he had radiation, and that did well. He started to see some improvement in his mobility and his leg and his sensation, which is great. He recently had a PE earlier in the month, and they showed something else. And no, yeah, they showed something else, and what it showed was that there was another area that had a lesion where they didn't do radiation. So, but the good thing about it is the MRI, to our knowledge, where they did the radiation was successful, um, to our knowledge. So we will know what the treatment plan is going to be for that other spot probably by Tuesday. But otherwise, his treatment is doing well, and everything is stable, which is a great thing.
Nicola, do you have any questions or anything on your mind you want to talk about?
No, I think I think I've covered everything. Yeah, just joined in with you guys. Really pleased for you, Brian. And yeah, everyone on the call really. Just sending you lots of love and to keep up the good work. But it's hard. Obviously, you know, people say to me, why did you do what you did? You know, you could have just got on with your life, and, you know, you could have just, most people do, don't they? Just try to just forget the what they've gone through and just try to live the life after losing someone. But I just knew that Rick would have wanted me to join you guys and try and do something, and I just couldn't, you know, in Rick's memory. Of course, it's about Rick, but it's about you guys, it's about other people, and to, you know, we want everybody like you doing well. So that's why I do it. I just want more positivity and more. I just, yeah, just sending lots of love to everyone.
Yes, thank you, Nicola. We're so happy like you're here and like your support as well. Lois, do you have any questions or anything on your mind you want to talk about?
No, not particularly. I just remember the documentary that I had read once, maybe in your page, Facebook page, Richie, about the documentary for Rise. Do you know this foundation, or anybody of you, the Rise Up Foundation, about a basketballer, the son of Brian Williams? And there's
Oh,
gonna
Bryce.
be
I've heard of it.
yeah,
Oh, Bryce Williams.
yeah. Do you know if this documentary is completed, or do you?
Yeah, it's not complete. Matthew is still working on it.
Okay,
I think it's
okay,
getting close to it, but no, it's not complete yet.
yeah. So if you have some information when it's gonna be complete, might be a good idea to find a way to watch it, or, you know, I found that interesting as a as an act, let's say.
Yeah, he's actually trying to make it into a movie in hopes that
Okay.
someone will purchase it,
Mm,
and and air it all over. So more to come. But he's been working on it now for,
mm.
I want to say at least 2 years.
Yeah, because I was thinking that art might be a way of making people aware through these kind of things, just by showing, as you said, a movie or a documentary or something, instead of presenting results and studies and pieces of research that are not very much understandable. At least I'm trying to sometimes to read what Professor Pavlos uploads once in a while, and I find myself lost.
Yeah, unless
Yeah,
you're in the medical field, the terminology, you can
yeah,
get lost with the
I
terminology, and even
understand. Yeah,
yeah,
some basic
even being a
things.
nurse, I sometimes can't understand some of it. So I understand.
Yeah, but maybe having a movie or like this, a documentary or something, might be a good way to spread the knowledge. Yeah. So
That
when I
may
read
be.
about that, yeah,
Yeah,
I like the idea, right? Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, I
I
wish
would like to have us.
everybody.
I would like to have another one done, but include all of you guys. You know,
You can organize something for Chris's life, just a movie or
we
something
did
like
do
that.
it. We did a documentary on Chris's. I don't know if you saw it, but it's on Facebook.
No,
I'll
no.
send
Is
you
it
the link.
where is it in your page,
Uh-huh.
your
It's
site?
on the foundation page. It's a documentary of Chris, and then we also did an advocacy video that included Andre and Brian's wife, Vanessa. You mean you missed it, Lois?
No. I think no. I think I saw that. I think I
Okay,
saw
and then
that.
look on
Mm.
our foundation page. You'll find
Yeah.
all.
I'll check again, but I think I saw it. Okay. Yeah. I wish everybody uh, be okay and have your spirits up. And see you next time.
Sounds good. I just want to, if it's okay, Clarissa, before we leave, can I just remind everyone about the walk here in Sugarland on March the 23rd? It is global as well as virtual. All RMC patients do walk free. So we encourage you to get an entourage of people to support you. And we'll be looking forward. We hope that some of you will be able to join us. Please let me know so I can be prepared who's going to actually be at the walk this year. And then also in Pasadena, California, Maricela, who's a good friend of Anna's, is organizing a walk there on March the 13th. March the 13th? 7, let's see. Is it the 13th? No, let's see. It's the week before the one here. It may be March the 16th in Pasadena, California. So we just encourage you guys to participate. Greece is joining in again this year with us, as well as Nicola over in the UK. So we'll be happy to have everyone join us. Please send in your pictures and everything. And then just to let you know, our next meeting will be February 13th. And that's our Tuesday meeting. And then our Saturday meeting will be February the 24th.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Andre, you
Great.
want to close this out?
Sure, I can do that. I'll be in Houston next Wednesday. I got another scan, 6-month scan now, so every 6 months, trying to make it to that once a year mark or whatever. So we're gonna see what Dr. Masao say. But yeah, I'm going into my my 5th year since I've been diagnosed, so that's a blessing.
Amazing that.
Blessing in itself, just to make it to this point, and just to see how the support group has evolved, and just to see other survivors, of RMC. Man, it's a blessing, so yeah, we're gonna keep pushing forward, and I wish everybody the best. Love you all, and for everybody that's in Houston, hopefully I get to see y'all next week. Maybe we can do a dinner or something, Miss Richie.
I got you, Andre.
All right.
Because we need to celebrate you being here, your clear scans, and you see we've already declared that, and
Oh yeah.
Brian's clear scans. So I got you on my schedule, so
Okay. All
we'll
right.
make it work.
Perfect.
Yeah, Andre, how long are you gonna be in Houston?
Um. So I get there on Wednesday. Got my scan on Thursday. Meet Dr. Masal on Friday. So we either gonna leave like Friday evening or Saturday morning. We haven't really decided yet. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town next week, so I may not be able to see you.
Oh, okay. It's all right. I'll let
It'll
you know.
just be
I'll let you know the good news afterwards. I'll
All right.
text
But Andre, do you get to find out your scan results the day after?
you the day after. Yes.
Do you?
hmm Yep. So my
Brilliant. At
my
least you
scan's
don't have
normally.
to wait.
Yep. My scan's normally on that Thursday. Then I see Dr. Masada that Friday, and he let me know.
Amazing.
And all that will
Thinking
be
about you.
all that will be done in MD Anderson.
MD
The
Anderson.
scans.
hmm
Okay. Greetings to Professor Mzawel then, from all the team.
I tell him. I tell him. I tell him. Everybody say hello.
Our lovely doctor, the doctor of our heart,
That's right.
always available, anytime.
hmm
Yeah, that's amazing, amazing person. Okay,
all right,
All right.
everyone. Well,
All right.
enjoy your Saturday.
have a nice, a nice Sunday too. It was
All right.
nice
All
and
right.
a pleasure to see you again. Yeah. Bye,
Take care.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
You too.